JBNN will keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones. Before we get into the news, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share the news with someone today. Now on to the news. Superintendent Coolidge Minter provides update on guns seized at primary school. Commanding Officer for the St. Elizabeth Police Division, Superintendent Coolidge Minter provides an update on the ongoing investigation into the seizure of a gun at a primary school in St. Elizabeth.
So the police have been investigating this matter since Thursday of last week. The father of the 7-year-old was taken into custody the same day, hours after the seizure of the weapon. The investigation at this time is advanced. I won't be able to speak to the specifics. However, we are now treating with the matter of threats being made against persons from the school. And so that has come to our attention over the last 2 days, and we are investigating the source of the threats. I want to appeal to persons in the area to refrain from interfering with any form of witness or any person connected to this investigation. The investigation, as I indicate, is advanced. The weapon was seized and has been sent to a forensic lab for testing. Further updates will be provided later. So any exposure of this nature to our children certainly cannot be good. And I join with the other state agencies such as the CPFSA and the Office of the Children's Advocate rather, as they make the appeal not to expose our children to any form of moral danger, and for parents to search and to police their own children, to search their bags, and to ensure that guns, knives, or any form of weapons or contraband are not being brought into the school compound. The school is a place of teaching and learning, and we certainly want for all our students, our teachers and principals and staff to be safe in that environment. And therefore, this highlights the challenge and the problem that we face where our children are exposed to things like guns in our communities. So firstly, our CSS team, Community Safety and Security officers, have been deployed. We've been supporting the schools across the division since the opening of school. In fact, this was the first major incident that has occurred in any of our schools in the parish. Since this incident, we have been in that particular school. We have had at least one major meeting with the school administrators as well as persons from the Ministry of Education, and there are certain decisions that are being treated with from the school level. We continue to provide support in terms of security, in terms of having our school resource officers deployed, and we will continue that support in our schools across the parish. I also want to use this medium once again to appeal to persons in the parish that any information that they have pertaining to wanted men, pertaining to illegal weapons, or any crime that has happened in your community, to share the information. And there are many ways they can share. There's 119, there's Crime Stop at 311, or they can call the Black River Police Station and to pass on the information. We intend to go after those who are creating mayhem, those who are committing crime.
55-year-old man chopped to death in Linstead. A police search is now on for a suspect who chopped a 55-year-old man to death in Linstead, St. Catherine last night. The deceased has been identified as Winton Anderson, a laborer of Lemon Ridge District in Banbury in Linstead. It is reported that at about 7:20 p.m., Anderson was in a yard in the community when he was attacked by a man who used a machete to chop him repeatedly to the back of his head. The man then fled the scene, leaving Anderson bleeding profusely. Anderson was assisted to the Linstead Hospital, where he succumbed to his injuries while being treated. Manchester 21-year-old charged for a fatal gun attack in Albion. The Manchester police have charged a 21-year-old labourer in relation to a gun attack on a man while at his home in Albion District in Mayday. He is Andre Williams of Hillside District in Knockpatrick, who was charged on Saturday with murder, possession of prohibited weapon, unauthorized possession of ammunition, and using a firearm to commit a felony. The charges are in connection with the killing of 27-year-old Brian Samuels, a labourer of Albion District. The police report that at about 6:20 p.m. on Monday, August 12, Samuels was at home when he was once upon by Williams and another man who opened fire, hitting him several times. The police were alerted, and on arrival, Samuels was seen with multiple gunshot wounds. He was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Following an investigation into the incident, Williams was arrested. He was charged on Saturday, September 14, after he underwent an interview session in the presence of his attorney. Williams' court date has not been finalized, and his accomplice is currently being sought by the police. Case dismissed against Erinai schoolboy charged with murder of schoolmate. The St. James Family Court today dismissed the case against the 14-year-old Erinai school student who was charged with the stabbing death of his 15-year-old schoolmate. His attorney, Maurice McCurdy, said that the court upheld submissions where it was argued that the schoolboy was innocent. Today was the day for the decision of the committal hearing. The two charges against him were thrown out, as both the murder charge and the possession of an offensive weapon charge were dismissed against him, McCurdy outlined. The courts do not sit in a vacuum and must take the fulsomeness of the law and the facts into account to discharge its duty. Sometimes, however, the suspect is the victim and the deceased is the author of his own demise, he stated. The attorney was quick to point out that notwithstanding the court's decision today, the defense sympathizes with the family of the deceased. Though the defense is pleased that the court found favor with our submissions in law, there is nothing to celebrate about this case. A loss of a child is a major blow to any nation. It has never been lost on us that a family is grieving, said McCurdy. The 14-year-old schoolboy was charged following the stabbing death of his schoolmate, 15-year-old Ranil Plummer, on April 18. Plummer was reportedly approached and attacked by a group of students after exiting the grounds of the St. James-based high school. According to police reports, during the assault, Plummer was stabbed in the chest by the 14-year-old male student and was transported to the Cornwall Regional Hospital, where he died while being treated. It was alleged that the incident stemmed from an earlier altercation. Renewed focus on seatbelts and child restraints following deadly crashes. Concerns have again been raised about the wearing of seatbelts and the use of child restraints following road crash deaths on the weekend. In Westmoreland, a 22-year-old man and his 3-month-old son died on the Waterworks Main Road. The child was ejected from the vehicle. In Clarendon, 2 police officers died while pursuing suspects along the Yorktown Main Road. Both incidents happened on Sunday. Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council, Dr. Lucian Jones, has lamented that too many drivers and passengers are refusing to wear seatbelts, which is a requirement under the law.
To the extent that this is not happening, to that extent we're exposing our children and adults to danger. And we have to make sure that every aspect of the system's approach is exploited fully. And therefore, as a country, as enforcing officers, we have to make sure that people are properly buckled up in cars, both front and back, and that motorcyclists wear a helmet. The matter of the 2 police persons who died and seatbelt, that will have to await further and better particulars about exactly what happened. But this is an issue which has been in the public domain, and that one needs some revisiting, and that is a matter that has to be settled internally by the police. How do you protect our lawmen and women when they are chasing down suspected criminals?
But Assistant Commissioner of Police Gary McKenzie, who heads the JCF's Public Safety and the Traffic Enforcement Branch, said that while the drivers of service vehicles are required to wear seatbelts, there are exemptions for passengers.
The Road Traffic Act is clear with respect to the use of seatbelts by citizens and members of the security forces. The road traffic law indicates that the driver should be wearing his or her seatbelt, and the persons who are riding in the vehicle need not be. In situations where the police have to act, as I have said before, the police will have to do what is required to ensure that they are able to maneuver themselves depending on the situation.
Old Harbour men accused of murder and burying dismembered body freed. 4 Old Harbour St. Catherine men accused of chopping a man to death and burying his dismembered body were freed in the circuit court today because the witnesses in the case are dead. Further, the court was told that a 3rd witness is unwilling to participate in the proceedings. With the Crown unable to proceed on witness statements alone, it could not offer any further evidence. As a result, the men, Teron Brown, Narada Hibbert, Ronaldo Kane, and Damian Bailey, were freed by Justice Yvonne Brown, who dismissed the case. They were charged in connection with the death of Kevin Watson, who was of a Red Ground, Old Harbour, St. Catherine address. Allegations are that on December 31, 2012, Watson was killed and his body dismembered and buried. An investigation was conducted by the Old Harbour Police, which resulted in the four men being charged with murder. They made numerous court appearances and maintained their innocence throughout. Businessmen accused of killing son offered bail on humanitarian grounds. A St. Andrew businessman who was reportedly captured on video shooting his son to death at the family business place in Papine, St. Andrew, 3 years ago, was offered $800,000 bail on humanitarian grounds. Delton Knight was arrested after he reportedly pulled a gun and shot his 38-year-old son Ruel in the chest, killing him. The 67-year-old accused was offered bail in the Home Circuit Court last Wednesday. The 67-year-old accused was offered bail in the Home Circuit Court last Wednesday during an emergency sitting while the court was on its August term break. The businessman was previously denied bail due to the strength of the prosecution's case, which includes the video recording of the incident and the statements from witnesses. He is facing charges of murder and illegal possession of firearm and ammunition arising from the incident. According to police reports, about 9:45 a.m. on April 12, 2021, Knight, who is a licensed firearm holder, had a dispute with his son at their place of business. During the dispute, Knight reportedly pulled his weapon and shot Ruel in the chest and left the scene. The injured man was rushed to hospital where he later died. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.